Welcome to Fly Nubian Money, where we help you master your mindset and maximize your money.
Happy Monday. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Fly Nubian Money. I am Tiara Williams. I also known as Miss Black Hollywood, and I am your host for today. We help you master your mindset and maximize your money around here. And so I want to jump right in, right? Because today is Ratchet on a Monday. It's going up on a Monday. We are talking about a story that the internet it's been buzzing all over the internet. So a high-powered attorney is pregnant by a defendant she once defended in a case involving murder, RICO, and gang activity. This Atlanta true love story, as she calls it, might sound romantic to some, but today we are peeling back the layers to talk about the real risks financially, emotionally, and generationally. I guess the question I want to know is, are we compromising our money and security for love, right? Are Black women so desperate, y'all, that they are taking the bottom of the barrel? Let me show y'all this video. Let me show y'all this this photo. Look at this photo. Look at that. This woman then went to law school and worked hard. And this is what ended up happening at the end of the day, y'all. This is what happened. Look. All right. I am joined by some talented, beautiful, and the most smartest queens on the planet. Today I have a TV and film producer, Marlo Layson, and she is so noted, Dr. Sabrina Edmond Williams. All right. Welcome, queens. How y'all feeling today? Y'all all right?
I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah. Y'all, I had a weekend, so I feel like a little discombobulated. I was under the weather. Dr. Sabrina, how are you feeling? Are you feeling better?
I feel good.
Hey. Yeah. I was coming up out that thing, so I still feel a little like sluggish, but not necessarily like sick. As you all know, my album came out over the weekend on Friday. The Love Hangover came over on Friday, and so it's been a weekend of amazingness, right? Like people listening to the project, something I've labored over for 3 years and putting it into the world. And, and then on Friday, it also on the day of the anniversary of Hurricane Katrina, me and Marlo know about that, but it feels kind of surreal on that day.
No, wait, hold on. I got to jump in here because I've heard you talk about Katrina for 2 shows now, but I need to remind everybody that Katrina rolled up in here.
That's true.
Waveland, Mississippi. Okay,
it really did.
All
You're
right.
You're right. So
we will all share our Katrina trauma together.
Yes, absolutely.
And
not to mention, right? That's true. That's so true. So, I just say that it's kind of surreal for it to release on that day, and then also for the album to be considered for a Grammy nomination. That's like, come on, y'all. I was expecting it, but I wasn't expecting that like that. So let's jump into this topic. So y'all saw the articles and maybe you haven't seen the video that I sent quite yet. I have that, so I wanted y'all to see that live. But Marlo, what are your thoughts when you heard that this high-powered attorney is dating and having a baby with a gangbanger that she once defended?
I thought the AI had got me again. I just did not that it's unbelievable, right? This has happened before. We see women in police and sheriff, jailers getting involved with inmates and stuff. So I wasn't surprised, but I was surprised because is it not too soon? Was the trial so long y'all fell in love? I'm really, the nosiness in me just wants the details, actually.
Yeah, I mean, the trial was 2 years, right? But I just don't know if I'm gonna be looking like, he's so fine. Anyway, Dr. Sabrina, what do you think? Are we so desperate? I'm gonna ask you this: as Black women, are Black women not so desperate, but like, were you just looking at the bottom of the barrel?
Well, I know this is probably going to surprise you, but I take, I guess, a different view.
Okay.
Because so many of our Black men have either been caught up in the system or have participated in some form of criminal activity. I mean, and we got high powered women that's walking around here married to folks that have participated in criminal activity, but we don't have that conversation about them. So I don't know. I don't know. I think,
So you saying this young man was on trial for murder and gang activity, and it's cool, right? Because our Black men are getting caught up in.
I'm not saying that it's cool, but think about it. We have people that are now very high profile folks that have been in gangs. We just talked about one. Well, I don't think we talked about him, but he made internet kind of buzz last week. Snoop, for example, wasn't he like gang affiliated at one point or something? We have other folks that have dealt drugs. We have folks that have done all kind of things. Even Malcolm X, he spent time behind bars. So, I mean, what are we having heartburn about? What part of it is giving us heartburn? The fact that she's involved with him, the fact that he has a criminal past. What part is giving us the heartburn?
It's just the picture for me. Now that you have laid out a custom argument,
it's the picture for Marlo.
Argument. It's all this photo. This photo is taking me to the moon, and that's all it is. Because you are absolutely right. There are, Phaedra Parks married Apollo fresh out of jail, right? He was a scammer. She was a scammer. Sorry. And now he went back to jail for scamming again, right? So she said she thought he would change, but he wouldn't. And I think that that's the gamble that you take, right? That's true. He says versus what actually happens. So as a fan of Love After Lockup, honey, this is not, it happens. The people be of all different stripes waiting on the inmate, driving 3 states over to go retrieve their love. So I know it, and I appreciate you, Dr. Sabrina, for laying it out properly. Because it's the truth. I mean, if you overlook all the bad stuff, maybe you won't be able to get you none. I don't know.
Okay, so are we saying that Sister Betty Shabazz shouldn't have married Malcolm because he had a criminal background? Are we saying that?
No, we're. Because he was different. I feel like Malcolm Little was a different man, right? Like he wasn't that man, and I think there's a point of him that's like proven. Like he was a different man once he came out of jail, right? And
but do we know this gentleman? Can we say, do we know him intimately enough to say that he is still the same person that he was before he went to jail? Do we know that? I don't know that. I don't know the man. I don't know him like that.
I'm not, Dr. Sabrina. I'm just not doing it. I'm not saying I'm judgmental, but I'm saying like you've worked so hard to get. Let's watch the video, y'all. But you've worked so hard to get into a place. You've worked hard. You went to law school. You did all of these things, and I'm not saying like we should judge him for the way she's structured her life. She's been on the straight and narrow, on a path, and you meet this man that you're defending and fall in love with him, and he's also been on a path. He's made some choices in life, and in 2 years I can't believe that he's become a different person. Like I just can't believe that. Like I can't believe that he's gone through this rigorous process. He got out of jail, and he might have needed like some help. Like you was convicted. Well, you was.
But he wasn't convicted, though, was he?
He wasn't convicted. Right. He wasn't convicted. But for murder and it was a RICO charge and drugs and all this stuff and all of that. Like, I just don't. I think that's like oil and water. It just does not mix. I think she is definitely jeopardizing her life, getting caught up with somebody who is, for all of his. Yeah, let's watch this first video. Let's do it, y'all.
We have Atlanta news, and it's ghetto. YSL attorney Kayla Bumpus and defendant Shannon Jackson, who met and fell in love during last year's YSL RICO trial, have announced they are expecting a baby. True Atlanta love story. What kind of client attorney privilege is this? This is what Kayla posted on Twitter. True Atlanta love story. My baby almost here. Check out our registry and thank you if you sent him something. Respectfully, I'm not sending you nothing on your registry because you a lawyer and he does whatever he does. I don't need my help. They eating chicken wings together. Oh, that is romantic. You're changing the records? Changing records? Okay. Got to put on something more sultry. Oh, they're engaged? Is that an engagement ring? Okay. Okay, a lot happened during this trial. Congratulations.
Dr. Sabrina, I'm gonna come back to you because you seem to have, a heart, and so I just want to get your read now that you've seen the video and realized that this young man again had spent some time in jail. She was defending him. The trial lasts for about 2 years, which gave them, I guess, something romantic was happening. There was some fire burning. And this is what she was just like, oh, he is so fine, or whatever happened, right? And when he got out, she worked extra hard to get him out because that's the man you love. You in love with him. You're gonna get out of here, and we're gonna be together. This is a true Atlanta love story. Tell me what you think about this. Like, just.
So, I mean, I'm still gonna, I'm gonna play the devil's advocate, and I know the chat is just gonna eat me up today, and that's okay. But I'm still saying I don't know that person. I don't know if he had a heart change. Look at it this way: the court system found him not guilty. Okay, so they found him not guilty. Who am I to convict him? Not even knowing him. I don't know whether he's guilty of any of those things. Maybe he is, maybe he's not. But again, I go back to look at a lot of the people that we idolize today. A lot of these celebrities, and man, I know you shaking your head. Maybe
I don't idolize any of them. I'm just saying, there are
a lot of people that look up to these people. And they don't have squeaky clean backgrounds. And the difference is, and this is what we tend to do, we will demonize this brother because he did what he did and he got caught and he went on trial and we know about his dirt. But think about how many people out there do similar things, if not worse, but they never get caught. They never get put on trial. They never go through the fire. So I don't know, hey, if she likes it, I love it. If that's what works for her, we can have a discussion about it all day long. But at the end of the day, it ain't my baby. I ain't the baby mama. I ain't the baby daddy. I ain't got to take care of it. And the good thing is she's a high-powered attorney. So she don't have to worry about, the taxpayers, good old taxpayers of Georgia don't have to worry about having to take care of her baby if the baby daddy don't take care of his responsibility.
All right. Well, is love enough, Marlo, to justify this risky behavior? Because it sounds like it's like, I love him, and this is a true love Hollywood. This is a true Atlanta, not even a Hollywood love story. This is a true Atlanta love story. Is love enough to justify a situation like this? Because I feel like I see risk all over this. I don't know about y'all, but I do.
Yeah, I mean, I think definitely she is the one carrying all the risk, right? Because if he go back to the street and he get back in the mix, if he still gallivant with the people that he was under this indictment with, if he's still going talking about YSL and all kind of other foolishness, it's certainly, now that they've gone public with this relationship, is going to cast the subversions on her. And what she doesn't want is somebody talking about ethics, right? She doesn't want somebody going and asking for her case file and asking to look into different things. So I would just say, if she, as our good sis said, if she like it, I love it. And I would just, she should be cautious and she should not feel no kind of way about asking questions and putting her foot down, because she has worked hard for that law degree. And with the states that we are in right now, I'm sure the state of Georgia would love to snatch that old juris doctorate and that all of it. I know that they would love to disbar her and not have her practicing to defend Black men in this way in such a high profile case and get them acquitted.
Let's take a break. I need to take this all in. You know what I mean? I just got to take it all in. He should have never, like rapper adjacent, YSL, like the whole Young Thug. Let's go to break.
It's a good show right here.
But I'm biased. If you are just tuning in, you are watching Fly Nubian Money, where we help you master your mindset and maximize your money. My name is Tiara Williams. I'm also known as Miss Black Hollywood, and I'm the proud producer of this show because it is lit. If you want to receive notifications for when we go live Monday through Friday, 1 to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All you have to do is text the word Queens to 87948. That's Queens to 87948. That's QUEENS to 87948. Also, if you want to grow your money and not blow your money, all you have to do is go to flynubianmoney.com. There's all kinds of resources, there's courses, there's free giveaways. There's just no reason to be broke in 2025. All you have to do is go to flynubianmoney.com. Obviously, you don't want to be entertained here. You want to know enough to grow. Wait, I need to put that on a shirt. You got to know to grow. Got to know to grow. So know and grow with flynubianmoney.com. You got to know to grow, y'all. Make sure you go to flynubianmoneyclubs.com. You got to know to grow. Speaking of knowing and growing, today we are talking about Kayla Bumpus, a high-powered attorney who calls romance with, I'm going to call him a gangbanger because we can agree that he was in a gang, right? She defends that it was a true love story after she was defending him in this like Young Thug, all of that, like the YSL trials. So I just want to I can't help but to just keep thinking about and again, I don't want to come off like judgmental about this, but maybe I am, but I don't want to come off a certain way about this because I understand what you're saying, Dr. Sabrina, that people can change and that not all people are bad and people are actually like just caught in a hard situation and doing what they got to do to survive, but really on the inside they are good. I know that is the case for some people. I saw Booker in the chat saying that there's where somebody said that there is innocent people in jail, right? But I don't, I do think that when there's smoke, there's fire, and something was happening. It's not like they were on trial for no reason. They were indulging in some activity, right? Like some criminal activity. They just happen to maybe not have enough evidence. I don't know. But I'll just say that I just think that it's tough because there are a lot of Black men in jail and they are coming home. And Marlo, what do you think are ways that we can how do you know the difference? Because I often think about what we talked about on this show before, the woman who married an inmate and was going to see him, and he had been in jail for murdering 4 people, and he had been there for so long and appeared to be in the church and all of that, and they allowed her to have a conjugal visit with him, and he ended up strangling and killing her in the middle of the night after they had sex. And so yes, I just think it's that, like, that's the type of energy that I'm talking about, where it's 25 years later, even everybody was convinced that this man was changed, but it's like there was still something in him that had an itch to do something. And this is a church-going woman who had everything going for herself. And so sometimes I can't help but to think about stories like that. Maybe it's the journalist in me that's like, hell no. The writing is on the wall. Marlo, what do you think about that?
I'm skeptical. And most of it is because I was not a wallflower, right? When I was young, I was not a bystander, if you will. And so I know that sometimes things are exactly as they appear. sometimes you got to dig beneath the surface. So I just, I don't know. I wouldn't do it. Me, in my present day, if I may be Miss Kayla Bumpus for a moment, in my present status, in the position that I hold in my career and where I am just mentally in my mind, yeah, ain't nobody that's fresh off the indictment about to move in my house, right? That's not, it's not, but it's because I don't trust, right? Kayla might have made a great decision. There might be a great man who really was just oppressed by the system and he really just want to start a chicken wing place and that's why they got wings in these. Girl, you a dirty soldier. I'm telling you, you're a dirty soldier. But, like, maybe in earnest, he really just, want to start a wing spot and she can help facilitate that. And for the sake of Black love, I hope that they can. I hope that they do. But what I know in reality is very few jailhouse lepers change their spots. Everybody finds religion or a gang in church. Either your gang is Jesus or, Islam, or you are a gang that's doing gang activities in jail. But just because a person goes to jail and finds religion, you just getting in the safest clique at the prison. That's all. Until you come out a changed man and you're different. So it ain't for me, but good luck, Kayla girl. I'm gonna be rooting for you, and I hope a better outcome for you than Phaedra Parks had with Apollo.
Right. Or just think about it. You fresh off an indictment and this successful Black woman is like open to dating you and you need somewhere to stay. Like it's hard times out here. Like we're not gonna act like men don't be homosexuals, and homosexuals meaning they need somewhere to live. So and there's someone going, well, you can live with me. It could have been like that. Like, well, I love you and I believe in you. You can live with me until you get up off your feet, and before you know it, he starts throwing that thing on you, and you like, I don't. This is the love. This is my love. This is Atlanta love story. This is it. Dr. Sabrina, what if this young man is a homosexual? He just in fact needs somewhere to stay because that is a thing. Like,
Stop. I mean, and in all seriousness, I mean, that could be the thing. But again, that's her reality to find out, not mine, and I'm not justifying it by any means. Am I saying that that's something I would want for myself? Absolutely not. But obviously, that's what she wants for herself. I guess the question that I would want to ask her is, even if she made that choice, why was it necessary to make this so public? Because to your point, you just defended this person. Yeah, he, was found not guilty, but then your reputation now is tied to the fact that you got involved with this type of person. So that can affect you professionally going forward. Yeah. So that I think that's the part that really does concern me. And again, it's a sign of the times that we live in. We can't do nothing without putting it all over social media. Everything, every thought we have, everything has to go on social media. Like some stuff, just keep to yourself. I didn't have to know you was pregnant by your ex-client. Hey, I could have bumped into you in the grocery store and be like, girl, did you adopt a baby? What's up? I don't know. I didn't need to know that. I didn't need to know that. But, she felt the need to share it with the world.
Yeah. Let's take a look at this. I'm gonna just say this, y'all. I was my green self. Y'all know. So I bumped into somebody that I went to high school with once, and he was like, yeah, I just came home. And I was like, oh, where were you? In London? Did you travel abroad? Like, just because I don't be thinking like that, right? Like, I just don't. That's not where I am. That's not my circle. I get it, but that just wasn't where I was. And he was fine. He had them jailhouse muscles. He was clean out, right? He was handsome, very handsome man. And so I was like, okay, well, take my number. So we start talking. And the hard part about it was like every couple days, like he got out, but I was like, now what you gonna do, right? Are you gonna go get a job? Are you gonna go, he explained that, he had gotten into selling drugs because his parents were They were drug dealers, and it just kind of was the culture in his family. So I was like, he could change. He got all these muscles. He was like, I'm gonna be a trainer. I was like, dope. So maybe like 2 months later, I called him and I couldn't get a hold of him. And I called him. I called him for like 6 weeks, and I was like, I just think there's something happened. Something did happen. He got raided again. You know what I mean? Like he just like, and then he got out, and I was like, okay, listen, you gonna have to get your life together. He was like, no, I'm gonna be cool. I'm not gonna be. I might have a little something going on, but I'm not gonna put my hands on it. And then, sure enough, like 4 months after that, he went back to jail. So I just think it's once you get caught up in the system, I think it's a real thing to just like not be able to let go of certain parts of you, like certain lifestyles, like like a drug. Like you can't really stay away from the allure of the life. And I think that's because I experienced that. I mean, I wasn't like 10 toes down, y'all, but I just couldn't handle the not knowing, the unpredictability of it. Like it was too much for me. I'm just having conversations. I think we went out a few times, but you could stay out of jail. So I just think that's once sometimes our black men get caught in a situation, unfortunately, they might not be able to stay out of it. So that is my concern for Kayla.
But to your point, those are the ones that we talk about and we highlight and we give examples of those. But there are many cases when there are black men that have gone to prison that said once was enough for me. I mean, I have people that work for me in my real estate business that are ex-convicts, and they have said, I went that one time, that was enough for me. Think about the one that went, maybe I remember a case early in my professional career where I interacted with a young man that had gone to prison when he was like 17 years old. He was with some people that a killing occurred, and because a judge here in the state of Mississippi decided to make an example of all three of them, he didn't commit the crime. He didn't do it, but he went to prison at 17 years old and served 18 years. So he was in prison for longer than he had been living at that point. So you get out at 35 years old, you're trying to start your whole life all over again. So, I mean, to your point, I understand, hey, I experienced this with one person, two people, three people, but then there may be 1, 2, 3 people that did just the opposite too. They went there one time and said, hey, I got to get this thing right. I'm changing my life, and I want to go in a different direction. So, I think you could look at it either way.
For sure. I mean, for sure. I'm not gonna make it seem. My grandmother had 13 children. Half of my uncles went and did some time, but my uncles are good men, right? Like they're good men. I do have an uncle who has currently served 33 years, the Innocent Project, for that same reason. He was in the wrong place at the wrong time. Saw a judge just last week. My uncle's been in jail for 33 years, and the judge was like, "I'm so concerned about all the rights that have been violated." So I think he's gonna come home soon, but. It's taken a lot out of his life. Yeah. And thankfully somebody married my uncle. Now what my uncle will be once he gets out, because he went very young, he went at 21. He's 50, like, you know what I mean? 21, 22 years old. He's 50 something now, coming out and having to get acclimated to life again. So that'll be interesting to watch. But like, I don't know, even as his wife, I respect her, but I don't know if I could have been the one to do it. That's not my ministry. So I think I just got, I have examples all around me. I'm not going to make, I'm in the, if you in the black community, like your uncles, your cousins, you, all of that is part of your experience. And I think that makes me even more, because I have uncles that were repeat offenders going back to until they got it right, until they matured enough to be like, okay, damn it, I can't keep going in and out of jail. I got to figure it out. But again, that's just not my ministry. Let's go to this next video, though. It's interesting.
Black women, we have got to, first we got the COs, the correction officers fucking the inmates. Now we got the lawyers. The lawyers fucking the YNs. The YSLs. The gang members. And when I saw this highly degreed, educated, beautiful black woman with not one gold tooth in her mouth, standing beside A YN with a wife beater on, motherfucking tattoos, a nigga that she represented and got off and announced that she was having a baby with him. And he had the nerve to put on glasses like he Farrakhan or some shit. The fact that he even showed up to the baby shower or the whatever this is, the gender reveal, looking like this beside a lawyer tells me black women, we have got to be okay with being bored. He has no business in a wife beater with a belly. He looks more pregnant than she is. We have got to be content with being bored with our men. We feel like, yeah, and I know them niggas that live on the edge make you feel alive, especially when you in a room doing paperwork all day, you're trying to solve cases. This shit gets boring, it gets mundane, it's just horrible. But then when you got somebody that absolutely lives against everything that you were taught to protect, this is what you go do. You go give your child a baby daddy. This motherfucker couldn't even give you marriage. I don't even think marriage on the table. I don't even think this is his first baby. She goes, bless Esquire. And if loving you is a crime, tell me why I bring out the best in you. Thank you, baby. I love you. I can't wait to meet our baby boy. He couldn't even put on a polo shirt. Well, she need to be careful. Anyway, moving on, y'all. I wish these two the best and may their son stay out of jail like his daddy.
I'm Sky.
This is what I'm saying. Tasha just touched my heart, y'all. Marlo?
Now I don't know, cause did Tasha pay Cardi her money? Cause I don't know if how much I'm gonna giggle with Tasha K if you still on the line for Cardi's money while you sitting here acting, like she's easily a candidate for I just got home, I need some help. So I ain't gonna rock with Tasha K on that.
Okay.
I feel like look, lawyers and clients spend a lot of time together when they are trying to divulge the facts, right? Especially if you're paying for an attorney versus a public defender that's representing you. So I don't know what they talked about in those arms. I don't know, maybe she got a thing for bad boys. Maybe she was such a studious woman in school. She never got into the nonsense that I found myself in. So we have in a reverse moment in life. Maybe earlier in life, she has a string of good boys in her life and she just want to spice it up a little bit. Whereas, I'm fine with bland food right now. I don't need no spice. I like what's going on. I don't need it to be popping, right? I don't need nobody with alphabets, none of that. And so I think we're just in a different place. But ultimately, I think back, now my wheels are turning, right? Sheree Whitfield was famously on the Housewives of Atlanta with a man who was in jail or had just gotten out of jail. So it happens, men go to jail for white. Now, here's the thing, Tiara. This is what I want you to think about. I'm going to flip it and I'm going to put my host hat on for 1 second. Okay. If this man had gone to jail for a white collar crime, right? So let's say his gang was the investment gang, right? So instead of the YSL, he's in the IG gang, right? His money is all in futures and investments. And so he has committed a white collar crime. He was indicted for it. He went through the whole bid. Do you look at him in the same fashion as you look at this man that's on the RICO with the other things, right? Because in the investment gang, they might be doing some murders. They might be knocking some people off to try to eliminate people who might eliminate paper trails. So would you feel differently if this, instead of a common street thug, he showed up in Gucci suits every day for trial, and he had Ivy League education?
Hold up. I brought you into a situation like that, Marlo. What are you talking about right now? Right? Like I had a client. No, right? Because I brought you into a situation like that. I had a client that I was working with who was actually like a wolf of Wall Street, Gucci shoes, and did he scam us all?
He did.
Marlo? He scammed us all. And do I look at him like we could have all ended up on American Greed? Absolutely. Yes. No, and I'll for a little bit, like we were talking about it because we've known each other for so long, like about like the possibilities of a romantic relationship, but he was scamming everybody, lying about everything. I was like, wow, I would never do that again. Because again, that same person, who had me lying, who I didn't even know I was lying, right? Like making stuff up. And he was like, "You an actress, right?" I was like, "Yeah." Right? Like us walking into Procter and Gamble making up shit, right? Like, come on, you're buying companies from Procter and Gamble, but lying? Y'all, listen, I'm telling it. So for me, it doesn't make a difference. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing. Maybe life has taught me. No, 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 no. And then I dragged Marlo into it. Did I not?
She did. I was like, I don't know about these. These press releases don't have what the government said they're supposed to have. She was like, "Oh, girl, just do it."
Had me looking like a scammer. This young man was taking hundreds of millions. He was taking millions of dollars from and saying that he was taking it for a private equity venture. And I feel like if he would have just did the right thing, I don't know if like us flying. I mean, we were on private planes, like flying, chartering planes to the listen.
For vacation.
I thought it was legit. I'm in there with a little wine, like what? little sparkling. Y'all don't drink, but like a little sparkling, whatever, sparkling water. Scamming. I didn't even know it. He could have had me all in jail. So I'm gonna just say that. Like I don't, y'all.
Okay.
No.
I just wanted to see if it was a balance, because some people write off a little federal white collar crime. They'll look away at a little investment scheme.
Because you're gonna be in jail for the same time, messing with a YN or messing with a blue collar. Like no, a white collar. No. Dr. Sabrina. And then Dr. Sabrina was like, "She got you." I was like, "Oh no," but I experienced that too. She was like, no.
Well, okay, so those are your beliefs. So you're firm in your belief, no matter whether it's white collar, whatever, and that's a good thing. But how many other people? We got a lot of people in the chat participating in this conversation. There are a lot of people that would view it differently, that would, that do feel differently based on what the crime is. They would say, "Oh, well, that's not that bad. That's not a big deal." So, there are people that do that. And I understand and I appreciate that question that was Marlo posed, because that gave us cause to pause and think about whether our belief would be different and our views would be different if the crime was different. So I don't know. Again, I say I go back to the previous video though. That I thought that was kind of hilarious. I mean, I guess to her point, did the brother have to show up at the baby shower in a wife beater? Like for real,
They keeping it real.
Yeah,
this is like oil and water for me. This is not. This tells me
is this them showing us like the moment the baby was made? Like why this particular? Because as a person, I've taken photography for like events and stuff, so I know that there wasn't just one shot, right? There were many shots that they were presented with after, and the fact that that's the one that we was like, we about to bust the internet wide open, and y'all did.
And they did. I'm
like, listen, if you get a wedding invitation from me in, I don't know, 4 to 6 months, we might be on that thing like that. I don't know. I'm definitely considering it.
Let's go to commercial. I'm sorry. Let's go to commercial. I'm not playing with y'all right now.
I know. You're busy, you got things to do, and you can't take us on the go with you every single day. Good news for you. We are now on Spotify. So if you can't watch us, now you can listen to us on Spotify. Search Fly Nubian Money and all the episodes shall appear. All you have to do is like, subscribe, leave a 5-star rating, leave some comments, tell people how you love us so that when other people come along and are looking for a great show to watch, they can find Fly Nubian Money too. One last thing, and just in case you've been sitting under a rock, Fly Nubian Money now has an investment club. We are the Fly Nubian Money Club. It's easy. All you have to do is go to flynubianmoneyclub.com, and I am committed to bringing in top experts from all industries to help you level up. They're teaching us the skills that we need to compete in this market. We often say that nobody is coming to save us, not the government, but guess what? We're coming to save us. I'm coming to save you with the Fly Nubian Money Club. So listen, all you have to do again is go to flynubianmoneyclub.com. We have a 30-day free trial set up just for you, just for those people that are struggling. Even if you ain't struggling, you ain't got to struggle. I'm coming. Okay, let me stop playing. I'll see you soon.
I have some really good things planned this month for Fly Nubian Money Club, y'all. Make sure that you go to flynubianmoneyclub.com and sign up at least for our 30-day trial. Give us a try. This month is going to be lit. And then you have access to all of our previous trainings, all of the things. All right. So as you guys know, we are talking about Kayla Bumpus, who married a YSL gang member, she's having a baby. I'm sorry, she didn't marry. She's having a baby by this young man. And we just talking about if it's a risk. We're talking about if like what she said was like black women just need to be Tasha K just said black women need to be okay with being bored, with not having an attorney or the bad boy thing or I just think that this is such an interesting conversation. Again, maybe because, as Dr. Sabrina said, I have some experiences around this particular topic, but also just watching other people, right? I do have now that I think about it, I'm like, dang, I got all kind of little stories, but I have a cousin who was dating a drug dealer, kind of like in this gangbanger drug dealer, and he put her on the hook for drug, like he was hiding drugs in her house. And so when they kicked down the door and did a raid, she ended up being the one. He was like, just say they were your drugs, because if they take me, they're going to take me for these amount of years. But if you say it, you ain't never been, it's your first time, so they're not going to put you in jail, da, 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 da. And she did it. And she was in jail for like 8 years. And so I think I just have a different perspective on this. Like, you being good, you got a job, you being wholesome, you minding your business. And then this person comes in and brings all of these different things in your life. Now, I'm not saying this young man is bringing negativity into her life, because I don't know what their story is. She seems very happy right at this moment. But, there's also not a baby yet. The baby is still, and I know that dynamic can even change a relationship once the baby comes. There's just a lot of things. So I think my biggest, not concern, because it's not my business, my biggest concern is definitely the risk of it all. Like, people putting themselves in situations that will change their lives financially, that will change the trajectory of their lives. Just one move, one thing can change your life and throw everything that you've been working hard for away. So I'm gonna go to some of our stats before I get into the last video, but it says 70% of Black women report financial anxiety when choosing a partner without stability. 70% of Black women report financial anxiety when choosing a partner without stability. That makes me feel like, so Marlo, let's talk about this for a second. This young man has come home from jail, right? Or he's come home from jail. When you look him up, you will be able to find those records, which will make it a little harder for him to get a good job, unless he does an entrepreneurial thing or, whatever, or not sell drugs, but, it's either or. Like, what would you say? How do you think that will, I don't know. Is that a thing? Like, is that a thing with coming home? Like, he won't have all of the opportunities. So will this woman have to fend for them and use her law degree to fund their lives?
Well, I mean, I think for a little bit, but I think it would be wiser for her to use her connections as a lawyer to get him indoors that he can't get in as a member of YSL, right? I think that is that's how she's more helpful to him. I don't think they gonna be broken up. If all she doing is spending money and he at home, playing the game, ordering DoorDash, that's not gonna last, because she's gonna feel some type of way about that. But I think that there are examples of men who have gotten their minds right, and women who gone through a situation and then stayed on the straight and narrow. So I think for her position needs to be, a, you got to be rushing to get to where, not where I am per se, but you need to be rushing to establish yourself as a man. And I'm gonna help you do that however I can. But you a man, I can't carry you, right? No matter how much weight I lift, unless a soldier is really wounded, I'm not about to pick a man up and carry him, right?
Yeah.
So I think that as long as she puts forth some type of guidelines, because the straightaway is he was indicted. 2 of his indictments are murder.
Yeah.
I ain't look at all the counts that he has because he's on, I don't know, 7 of the 60 or 70 counts that they were charging the YSL alleged members with. So he has a huge mountain to climb. So I mean, college is out for him probably, because I'm sure he has some other stuff going on around convictions and arrests. So college is probably out the door for him. So how can she, with her connection in the city of Atlanta as an attorney, how can she help that open doors for him? I think that has to be, if they're taking this relationship seriously, they want to have a strong Black family that we're always preaching about. She's most useful to him as a conduit for him to get to his manhood, because it's going to be harder for him to do it without the contacts and the access to people, places, and things that she can provide. If he got to do that on his own, he gonna do it selling drugs, and then she gonna get in trouble.
That's tough. I mean, because you walk into a situation already like, I love him, so I feel like a lot of Black women do this, and not because they gotta kind of pick up and dust off, and I don't know. Dr. Sabrina, if Kayla was your daughter, what would you tell her? How would you advise her in being in this situation? She in this situation already. Like, what would you tell her?
What would I tell her, or what would I ask her?
What would you advise? What would you ask, and advise her?
Well, I mean, the first thing I'd probably ask her is like, girl, have you lost your darn mind? That's probably what I would ask first. But the reality is, I would just tell her pretty much what we are saying here. You got to really think about how this is going to impact your career, how this is going to impact you long term. And I would ask her if she has given those type things any consideration. Yeah, you caught up in love, but at the end of the day, love is good and love is great, and love will do a lot of things, but love may not pay, the bills at the end of the day. Love may not open that door for him, even though you try. With his reputation, people know who he is. It may be very difficult. Are you willing to really go through the rain with this individual? I would have some serious conversations to her. But you asked a question too about his finances earlier, and her having to finance him. And I think, that's a concern for a lot of people. But again, I don't know I don't know the brother. So I don't know anything about his financial situation. Hey, he may have had some money put down. Apparently, if he could afford her, or give money toward her, defending him, there was some resources somewhere. But you keep going back to that picture.
I mean, if he got some resources, he got to look like he got some resources. He looks like a why. He looks like.
So for us to say that, and we're gonna talk about the man's look. Again, I'm gonna play devil's advocate here. Maybe that's just his comfortable look. I mean, look at some of these celebrities out here and how they go out looking. Not you, Miss Black Hollywood, because you out. You pilot, you fly. I'm not talking about you. But there are a lot of folks that go out sometimes with their resources. You look at them and you think, well, maybe they could have, should have gone out looking a little bit better than they present themselves. I don't know. I don't know why the man chose to take his, the baby shower pictures and wedding announcement in a white beater. I don't know.
Y'all, studies show that romantic decisions significantly impact wealth accumulation over time. So studies show that romantic decisions significantly impact wealth accumulation over time. The others is single mothers face a 50% higher likelihood of economic instability when co-parenting with partners involved in high risk behaviors. And I think I think we're going to this last video, but I think that's the biggest thing. Like if this was my cousin or sister or something like that, I mean, I joke about being green, but I'm not so green, right? And I think that just growing up and looking around and seeing what'll get you snatched, what'll be the hardcore, like what are the consequences that'll put you in bad situations. My uncle should not have been in that environment, right? He's a good guy, good kid, mad city, right? Doing all of these different things, like getting into things, being a teenager, being young, being a young man, just trying to find his way, but got caught up. And so I just think that, like, I noticed from a young age, like, okay, if you do this, if you go down this path, this is where this is going to land you. If you do this, then this is where it's going to put you. And that's not always the case, because you can change. Dr. Sabrina, I'm writing someone's book. It's like, have you both seen Minister Society?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the story of Minister Society is like what his life was, right? What it reminds me of. Like he was just into all kind of stuff. The difference was he was came that didn't die at the end. He actually went on to he was into a lot of things. He was a good kid, but he actually went on to make millions of dollars and have a wonderful business, right? And so I think you can be in those situations, but a lot of people alongside him died along the way, or went to jail or just all of that. And so it's just hard. And when he talks about women that he dated, women that he dated it was these type of women that were good girls that that were trying to save the man, like save him. So I would just say, like, I don't know if you can say, like, you can't save anyone, right? But I think we do, as Black women, want to help and save. And in these particular situations, anybody want to respond to that?
You can't save them. That's for
Can't
sure.
save them.
I've definitely been in the seat of trying to save somebody that, a person has to want to save themselves. It's like every redemption story that we mentioned today. That person wasn't a bystander in their success. That person was taking the bull by the horns, accepting the bad with the good, and not getting deterred, right? And so that he could go on, the person you referencing in the book, he could go on to build $1 million business. People go on to not go back to jail because jail is harsh. But I think you have to be realistic, and just saying I love you. You asked earlier, is love enough, right? Mm-hmm. Love is an action. You show love, you do love, right? You can say I love you, but obviously words are empty. People can say anything. What is the way that you're showing that you love a person and love yourself? And I think that that's what, our good attorney sis is going to have to figure out as she navigates this relationship that she seems very excited about. I mean, unless she's looking for a click angle, I can't see another reason to have done this.
Yeah, it's love.
And I think the other side of it too, her situation is a little bit different from even the young lady we talked about last week, 23 years old, 3 kids, and you're struggling. From a financial standpoint, because she is a high profile attorney, then there may not be as much of a strain on her financially as it would be for someone that did not have her financial means, that was trying to do it, parent on their own. So there may be a little bit of a difference there. Because you mentioned, and I'm referencing that statistic that you mentioned just a few minutes ago. It's kind of different if I am already struggling, and then we add in this child into the mix, and this person has a criminal history, and he may or may not be here. But if I am, pretty much financially secure, then that's not as much of an issue. And maybe that's where she's coming from, guys. I don't know, because she is, a high profile attorney. I have to assume that she does have, money. And by the way, sis, if you need help, transferring that wealth, I'm here. But anyway, so because she is there, then, maybe she is just looking for, somebody to love. Somebody to love.
That's true. And then we all want that, right?
Yeah,
We all want
yeah.
somebody to love and to
And,
love
and, and
us.
and I have to make this clear. I just want to play the devil's advocate on here. Clearly, that's not what I would do. I met my husband in the workplace 30 years ago, but he wasn't just coming out and none of that kind of stuff. But you know, I don't agree. I would not do that. But at the end of the day, I just wanted to bring another perspective so y'all can understand. Y'all, I told you I was gonna eat up Dr. Sabrina in the chat, but I wanted
They
to
didn't eat you up.
add a little spice to the conversation.
Yeah, they didn't eat you up. Actually, I mean, I think it's healthy to have different perspectives and bring different things. I love it. I mean, I might have said some things today, but I also can see both sides of every coin. I think it's the journalist in me. I'm like, I could understand that. I could see that. In this situation, I can't really see it. I feel like I can see some of it, but I can't see it. Right? And I mean what I mean by that is just like this could definitely affect her business. This could affect, I mean, people will look at her and say she commingles with clients
Mm-hmm.
in a sexual way. She breaks the laws of like you got to keep she mixes business with pleasure. And I think that is going to hurt her brand. But if love was worth that, if this is a true Atlanta love story where she feels like I'm your ride or die. We went against the grain. It's like all of it sounds very romantic, kinda, but ish, kinda. But it really, I think, I hope what I hope is it won't bite her in the tail. So
Well,
let's roll.
and then another way of looking at it is if it does, there'll probably be a movie deal out of it. She'll get
I'll
something
write your
out of it.
story, Bo. I'll write your story. Have Dr. Sabrina transfer that wealth. I got you on the story part. We got you. We got you. And then Marlo gonna
A
report the
book.
news. She's gonna tell you. She gonna tell. Uh-huh. All right. So let's roll this last video and then we'll round up our final thoughts on it.
So when we were first introduced to Kayla Bumpus, my first impression of her is that I expect her to come out here and show out. I put her so high on a pedestal, and I still do to some degree. I was thinking she was going to put the stylish, intelligent, professional black girls that's in law on the map. As I watched the district attorney Love try to belittle Kayla Bumpus on the stand when she outed the judge for having this ex parte meeting with Woody, I was rooting for this woman, although she had said that she had known the defendants for quite a while. No big deal, right? They're from Atlanta. That makes sense. I wasn't expecting for her to be married to one of the defendants, but that's her prerogative. However, Kayla Bumpus, when she initially made her YouTube channel, I already knew what type of time it was. When she consistently went on live discussing the YSL trial in real time with Woody on YouTube, I was taken aback because I'm thinking this attorney knows better than to be having this man that's freshly off this trial talk about this case in full detail on live. I'm starting to believe that Kayla Bumpus was actually into it with the police officer, the detective that I can't really pronounce her name. Y'all know I call her Burrito, but her name is Viverito. I'm starting to believe that Kayla Bumpus and Viverito was in this altercation because of this man. Could it be she just didn't like the woman? Absolutely. Nevertheless, I see a lot of people trying to defend Kayla Bumpus, saying that we needed to mind our business as it pertains to content creators that was covering the YSL trial, even though they've only known Kayla Bumpus all of 2 seconds. Now we're supposed to hold our opinions about her, even though she's online just about every other day. We're supposed to hold our opinions about her marrying one of the defendants in the YSL trial. Yes, it is her business, but she's also putting her business online for all to see. You can't have it both ways.
Okay. All right. So my point in using that video in particular is like she was in it, right? She's really like sacrificing a lot. She's doing things that really 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 could jeopardize her life. And I think me just watching that lets me know that sometimes when we are going through these situations, we're in relationships and that dopamine come, and like I said, he throwing that thing on you and you feeling all of the endorphins and all the dopamine and all the shots, right? Like you feeling all of that. It can really make you not too bright. Like it can really make it really makes that type of relationships make women kind of stupid for a second, right? They just lose their minds literally because of all of the chemical reactions that's happening in the body. So I think that they make decisions that are not necessarily the best. And I'm not saying I've probably been there, like, right, at some point made a decision and been like, because I love him, but looking back I'm like, oh, thank God the Lord spared me from making those stupid decisions. So what I'm hoping is that this isn't her stupid decision, right? She didn't put herself in a situation, going to great lengths to defend him, putting him on the internet, them having conversations about the trial on it. Just really, like, to me, just doing things that may not work for her benefit professionally and personally. So I don't know. I want to round this up with final thoughts. I just wanted to give y'all a little bit more perspective on how much she has gone, to what lengths she's gone to defend this relationship. And Marlo, if this was one of your babies, if this was one of your babies, your baby girls, what advice would you give her, about, and if she was dealing with somebody like this, if she had made a decision like this?
I would tell her, this is put your big girl panties time on, because this was so high profile. Everybody's going to have an opinion. Everybody's going to have something to say, especially if you're not keeping it private. It's different if somebody else said, oh my God, I looked in the window at this place and look what I saw. Look at this photo shoot. Y'all know who this is? No, she put it out there, right? So there is a bit of, maybe she angling to be a real housewife, right? But the type of mom that I am and the observer that I am, the same way that I said that, are you angling to be on the Real Housewives, right? Are you looking at a reality show Payday? It's fine if you are, right? If you're willing to exchange your personal life for a payday, it's fine. People do it every single day. But be prepared to be the villain, and be prepared for nobody to see you as a victim. And don't look for victimhood. I hate when people put this type of stuff out for the world to consume, and then they come back as if they're naive and they had no idea that the shitstorm that they started would start. But I mean, you did not flush the toilet and it kept filling up. What did you think was going to happen other than the contents of the toilet would spill onto the floor? So I think, as long as, my advice to my kids is always live in a world of reality. As long as you are looking 4, 5, 10, 25 steps ahead so that you can see the reality. Don't be so caught up with rose-colored glasses, because that's not real. If you got a real perspective on it and this is really what you want, honey, I wish you the best.
Where can people find you?
You can find me on the internet. I just kicked my tripod.
That's okay.
I don't have my Instagram name up there. But if you need help, once you decide that you're going to marry somebody and y'all going to be a mega brand, if you need help bringing those two mega brands together and having people identify y'all as a one and not a two, call the Marlo Group. Contact the Marlo Group. Don't call us, because that's so 1986. It's 2025. Drop me an email and I will get back with you. themarlogroup.com.
All right, Dr. Sabrina, what do you say? What are your final thoughts on this? You already told me what you would say if she was your daughter, so I'm just going to allow you to, just give me your final thoughts on it.
Woo, child, better her than me. Better her than me. I'm so happy I've been married for 30 years, because it looks like it's hard out there in them streets. It looks like it's real hard in the streets, especially for professional Black women. It looks like it's very difficult. I guess what I would say to her, Tiara, is you've made a decision now. You've made a decision. You made a decision to defend this individual. You made a decision to get involved with this individual. You've made a decision to procreate with this individual. And you certainly made a decision to make all of your business public. And so now you have to live with the consequences of those decisions, good, bad, and ugly. You got to. So, I mean, that's it in a nutshell. Be ready to deal with it. That being said, I am Dr. Sabrina Edmund Williams, educator, author, and investor, opening minds, closing contracts. I am so noted. And I am so excited and so delighted to be here on this first Monday in September. Happy Labor Day to everybody. If you need any assistance at all with your life and legacy planning, please reach out to me on social media. I can be found across platforms at I Am So Noted. That is IAMSEWNOTED.
Yeah, make sure that you follow Dr. Sabrina and Marlo. They are amazing queens. This is hands down my favorite time of the day. I already said enough. I feel like I've said enough. Y'all know where I stand on this situation. I just feel like if it were my sister, my daughter, um, yeah, we try to plant seeds that'll never, hopefully never put Lauren in this situation between her father and I. We just sprinkle, right? Like if she finds herself now, she's in ninth grade. She'll come home and be like, I really, I think this guy is cute or whatever. She's starting to look around, really look around. And I'm always like, yeah, but is he, we'll see the little boy and the little boy will be like, you know, just I don't know. Like Lauren will go get like things off the curb. I don't know. Like she'll just pick things up off the street and be like, look at it. It's so nice. I'd be like, Lauren, no. So we try to what we're trying to do is just show her her worth, right? Show her what she should tolerate. She'll come home and sometimes be like, this is what this boy said to me. Just starting to plant those seeds early so she never feels like that she has to take things or put herself in dangerous situations or compromising situations just for love, just for feeling like this is all I can get. You said something earlier, Dr. Sabrina, about it's hard in these streets, and it is hard in these streets ish, right? I just feel like I don't look at it from a place of like, if you think about things in abundance, I think there are good black men out here, and I think that's my thing with Miss Bumpus. It's like there are good black men out here, right? There are good black men all over the place, and you decide to be like, but that's the one on trial for like 15 murder, like just all of the things, right? I just there it's just something in her. So if it were Lauren, I would just try to see what's inside of you that makes you gravitate to that. Like, what about it makes you feel safe? What about it? So I would have more questions than advice to give. With that being said, like Dr. Sabrina says, with that being said, Tierra Williams, I'm also known as Miss Black Hollywood, aka Karma J. And I just released an album. It is called The Love Hangover. It is a great album, y'all. It's out. I've gotten so many great responses. I'm asking that people go directly to my website and jump into the listening room just to support an artist. But if you feel like you need to go to streamings, I'm on all platforms. Just know I only get a penny from the streaming. So y'all know I was anti streaming, y'all. But for the Grammys, they recommended or they required that we do it. So I did it.
Take all
I feel like I sold out, huh?
I say the streamers take all your money.
They do. And so if I'm asking for your support, I'm asking you to go, get your copy on the site. I am sending out CDs and vinyls and it's popping. So you'll have something in your but it's beautiful. So we'll have to come back and have a listening party in real life. And we're gonna do that sometime next week. I just don't know which day. But I love y'all and I really appreciate you watching our show today. All right, let's get it. And for everyone in the comment section, I know I didn't do a lot of talking to y'all, but I see every single comment. Dennis Spraggins, we appreciate you. Black Lexicon, Anonymous, C White, Dr. Vibe. We appreciate y'all because there would be no show without you. We'd just be here talking to each other, which I don't know how interesting that would be. So I would love to know what you would tell your daughters, Anonymous, what you would tell your daughters. What would Black Lexicon, what would you tell your daughters if they were in this situation? And, and we're going to get out of here. So we're going to get out of here. Text Queens 87948 if you want to receive notifications for when we go live. We are on Spotify. Go to flynubiamoneyclub.com. If you want to get in on trainings and sessions, go to flynubiamoneyclub.com. If you want to join an amazing community of women teaching skills that you need to compete in the market. All right, y'all, we're going to get out of here. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace, love, and hair grease. I want something really like, y'all, I want to leave with something strong, but I never can come up with anything. So peace, love, and
Put
hair
your
grease.
picture back up there. That strong
Oh,
image.
ooh, I
That
love that.
strong
Okay, hold up.
image.
I can't say peace, love, and hair grease. Oh, this one. Don't be that.
Be that.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Do
Okay,
that.
but check that out. Do that. All right, y'all.
I
We
mean,
love
it's
you. We'll
giving
see
me
you
the same
tomorrow.
sultry vibe.
It's a vibe. Goodbye, y'all.
Bye.